Where is the institution you are building for the people? Because the Mink Slide Museum is not a solution. The Mink Slide Museum doesn't solve a single problem in Black America.
Let's get it, everybody. It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Dima, SWV Music. Oh, God! So, man, we are really dealing with a lot of bullshit going on in these pro-black streets, family. I mean, you got Jada Pinkett talking about Will Smith. He ain't hitting it right. Buddy clapping sounds. You got Brother Polite in his situation. And then there is Umar Johnson, who is getting dustier and dustier each and every day. Now, again, I always gotta, as I insult him, I gotta just keep it real. Omar Johnson is an intellectual machine. I agree with almost 99% of what he says. Too bad he does none of what he talks about, for the most part. And some of y'all gonna get mad at this, but let me talk about Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed is not without controversy. I do tend to lean towards more Tariq Nasheed's productivity than Umar Johnson. But Tariq Nasheed recently raised about $1.7 million for his Hidden History Museum. Now, there's been a lot of talk in like the pro-black B1 communities because the money has been given to Tariq Nasheed and he's still in the process of trying to find a location. And then there was some drama behind him possibly having a white realtor. I personally donated to the museum. But I would still say give him time to do what he has to do. I mean, he's never failed on anything else that for the most part, that I know of. He's been pretty consistent. But Umar Johnson did something that was pretty amazing once Tariq Nasheed raised the money. He congratulated him. Yeah, he did. Umar Johnson congratulated Tariq Nasheed. He was like, hey, he was able to do that. Salute to the brother. But now what we're about to see is bipolar dustiness. And we're going to see really the real heart of Umar Johnson in this clip. You saw a little bit of it. I'm going to play the whole thing. I want to play right now. And I'm going to come and respond to it. And we're going to come back to it right now. Play that clip.
Where is the institution you are building for the people? Because the Mink Slide Museum is not a solution. The Mink Slide Museum doesn't solve a single problem in Black America. That is an economic hustle for one to pay his bills in the suburbs. The Mink Slide Museum will not address the miseducation of our children. It is not a grade school. The Mink Slide Museum is not a hospital. The Mink Slide Museum is not a bank. The Mink Slide Museum is not a supermarket. The Mink Slide Museum is not a manufacturing or distribution network. It is one man's hustle to pay his bills in the suburbs. That's all it is, brothers and sisters.
Now, you heard what he had to say. And he was saying that, pretty much Tariq Nasheed is a COO, the word with the end and end. He's a thief. He lives out in the suburbs. And the Hidden History Museum is not a manufacturing plant. It doesn't benefit black people. It doesn't do anything. Okay? The reason why Umar Johnson has to say that is because Umar Johnson he's jealous of what Tariq Nasheed was able to do. Umar Johnson has been able to raise a lot of money. But Umar Johnson he's a dusty beggar, At least when Tariq Nasheed raises money, it goes to something and we see the results. Umar Johnson, you're still talking about, plumbing is going to be done at FDMG Academy. We're almost there yet. Brother, it's been like 37,000 years. Jesus then hopped off the cross and everything. He has resurrected and you still talking about all of this stuff, okay? Here's the reality of it. And as black men, we need to understand this. Tariq Nasheed's $1.7 million don't have anything to do with the lack of corruption, with the increase in corruption and the lack of productivity that Umar Johnson has been portraying, okay? Or what he has portrayed. And I like to talk about it in terms of Liberia in the 60s with the late great William Tubman, who was a descendant of African Americans. He was pretty much an African American running an African country. If you listen to William Tubman talk, he sounds just like an African American, right? Because he was. William Tubman's economy in Liberia from 1944 to 1971 was on par with that of Japan. But what happened with Liberia? There was economic growth, but no development. And then after years of having all of those resources and then squandering it because of corruption, his party got kicked out in 1980, and the descendants of his, some of them were even killed, possibly, right? Let me talk about this with Umar Johnson. The money that you have received, donations over donations over donations, your pockets have grew, the donations have grew, and you have no development. This is the reason why a lot of times when you have Black or African initiatives, people are leery about supporting it because they don't see anything developing. And that's what you see. Some people like call out Tariq Nasheed and say, well, why are folks giving money to him? And I mean, I can understand your position, but Tariq Nasheed has some history of economic development with what he does with his money. It doesn't matter if he's doing it for a museum purpose or whatever. The fact is, he has a better track record of getting things accomplished than Dr. Umar Johnson. But here's another point that I want to make. Tariq Nasheed's 1.7 million don't stop Umar Johnson from doing what he has to do. Umar Johnson's biggest problem is him. If the Black community needs manufacturing companies, then where are you to start one? Where are your buddies that start some? If the Black community needs stores and real estate agents and all this other stuff, where are you at to bring it there? Because you would do the same thing you're doing with the school. You would squander the money, there would be no economic development, and you would be back on the Instagram live being dusty. The reality is that you're jealous. You are a jealous Black man of another brother that is doing more than what you're doing, even though you have the potential to get everything. Look at Omar Johnson on social media. He's so powerful with what he has to say. If he wanted to make this as a social media business, he could, but he doesn't want to. He would rather be doing dusty Cash App beggars on Instagram lives, calling somebody sellouts, calling somebody buffoons, out there looking hella dusty, challenging people to fights and things like that to get money from FD&G Academy because he doesn't want to work. All right. And then for the guys who do get the money, you want to call them out, but you're not successful. Okay. That's the reality. You're not being successful. Tariq Nasheed is successful at what he's doing, or more successful than you. And the reality is, with Black men, there's too much opportunity out here for us to even be beefing. There's so much money in the world today. You cannot get it all. I can't get it all. All right. So if you do something very well, I don't have any reason to be jealous of you about it. I should be glad about it, right? And that's the thing was, he was glad about it, but now he feels so low that he has to come out here and say these things and call these names toward Tariq Nasheed because Tariq Nasheed is better than you at raising money. Tariq Nasheed is better than you at handling funds. Tariq Nasheed is better than you at that. That's not his fault. You know, that's your fault. And that's the kind of crab and bucket in the bucket mentality that many of us have in the Black community. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell, hit the bell, check out the first comment in the top, and as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. I'm out.